Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's deal with creating a PDF and see how we can go about doing that. Okay, so when we're on the student profile and click to view one of these tests, we get this. Now what we want is a button here that takes us to another page where we can generate a PDF. Now before we make things complex, all we need to do is create a controller for now called make PDF. So let's try that. In the link here, I'm just going to say make_PDF. Let's see that, PDF, like so. Enter. So it says controller not found, and rightly so. So let's keep things simple for now, and let's just create a controller. So I'm just going to right click on controllers and say new, or let me copy the home controller, as is the simplest one. New file, paste, save, and let's call this one make_pdf.php. Enter. So I'm going to change this to make_pdf. Same here. Make PDF. Cool. Right, so this returns a view, but for now we don't need a view, so let's mute that for now. Let me save that. Let's refresh, and we get an empty page, which is cool. We just want to use the MPDF. So if you did download the MPDF using Composer, if you haven't, check the previous video for information on that. Otherwise, it's just a matter of running Composer and downloading this. So what files you get are these: vendor, Composer, Composer lock. We don't really need the Composer JSON and lock because we won't be downloading or updating anything here. So you can leave these alone if you want, and that's just what I'll do. So this one is vendor, and then there's auto load here. So this auto load is the file that loads everything. So this one checks the current directory and goes in Composer, and then auto load real PHP, and then it returns that. So this is the file we need to run in order to initialize everything. So let's come back here. However, there's this file we said create PDF that we generated. Let me open this. We copied this from the Composer GitHub site. So this is the information we need. And you see here it says it's trying to load vendor autoload.php. So that is nice. So what we would do is let's copy from here, close that, and let's paste that information right here in the make PDF controller. So boom, 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 like that. Let's remove the PHP tag, of course, and yes, that's about it. Now the thing is, we don't want to put the vendor folder inside the controllers. We want this to reside in the models, because usually when you get classes that are created by other people, you want to put those in models and not in controllers, because models are classes, and this is more appropriate here. So let's move that over to models instead. So I'm going to copy the vendor folder. This is really all I need, so copy. Now this MPDF folder will not be working in our project at all. So once you copy that vendor folder, you can get rid of this, or if you downloaded this to another folder, even better, because you can keep a copy. And then we go in private, let's go to models, and let's paste right here. So there are sometimes you get classes from other people. This is where you ought to put them. Even though the class is a single file, you can put it right here. For now, this is what we want. This is vendor. But we can change this name, of course, to mpdf. That way it kind of makes more sense. And this is the information there. Pretty cool. So our classes are in there. Very nice. Now if we tried to run this, it's going to be a problem. So what we do is we are currently the folder we are supposed to be in here is this current directory, which leads to the controllers folder. But we want to go a folder up, and then we want to go in models and inside mpdf. So there's no longer vendor here, there is mpdf. That's the first thing we should change first. But then in order to get there, we need to go a folder up. So we're going to do // that's one folder up, and then models, and then / like that. So this still leads us to the autoload.php file. Once that loads, it's going to load everything else, and it will be able to instantiate mpdf. And then we just want to write something simple like hello world, and then output that. Now once we put this output, it should output everything to the screen. That is the page right here. So let me refresh the page. If everything goes well, we'll see a PDF as we have seen right now. So it's as simple as that, and now mpdf is working to create our PDF. Okay, so if you have any problems up to this point, just hit me up in the comment section and I should be able to help you come to this stage. But it's very simple. Like I said, download Composer, install Composer, and then run Composer from your command line with this Composer require mpdf/mpdf. Once you run that, if I had pressed enter here, it will start the download process into whatever folder you are in right now. So here you can download this into any folder. It really doesn't matter. You can go to a different drive if you want, and then that's where you will find your download in there. Once you find your download, then you can do the process of renaming it to mpdf as we've done, and then make a copy. You're renaming the vendor folder only. So you rename the vendor folder, bring it here and change it to mpdf. And once you do that, you can put this code in there, and that's it. Now the thing is, we don't want to output this to the screen. We want instead to output this to a file, because now the user can but this could be what you want. Maybe you want your viewers to be able to click, and then it brings this PDF, and then they can simply print it out or save it. But I want the file saved and then prompting us to download instead of this. So to do that kind of thing, let's first create a folder. Oh no, let's do it without a folder though. So all I need to do is just put the file name here. So I'm just going to say my pdf.pdf like that. So once I do this, then it's going to save this to a file instead. So if I refresh now, it won't show me that PDF. However, if I go to because remember, always we are in the public folder. Whenever we don't specify a folder, we are in the public folder. So click on the public folder, and in here you see there's my PDF, which is this file right here. This is the binary version of the PDF file. So let me close that. If we do go to this folder, right click and say open folder, this is our public folder, and there is my PDF in there, and there we go. You can see it over here. Now if we want to put this in a folder instead, the same way we have uploads, we can say saved PDFs, for example. So what I can do is create a folder up here, and I'm just going to say folder is equal to, and I'm going to name it I don't know, generated PDFs, generated PDFs, like that. Now you can name this folder anything you want, obviously, and I'll put the slash there, like so. And then all I need to check is if it exists. So I'll say if file exists, folder, like that. Now we only care if it doesn't exist. So, and then mkdir, let's create the directory instead, and the path name is the folder, of course. Then we need to give permission to write to it, so do 0777. Let's put true in case you want recursiveness, meaning if you create multiple folders here, it will create all of them to get to the folder that you want to create. Now sometimes on some systems it may fail to give you permission, so you might manually want to do that permission thing. Once the folder is created in the public folder, you may want to give it 777 permissions so that you can be able to write things there. That might be an error problem, something causing an error if you can't find your file there. So since we have a folder and we are sure by this point the folder is created, all we need to do is paste the folder here, put a dot to concatenate to the file. Now remember, I'm not putting a slash here because it's already here on the folder name. If I hadn't put that there, then I would need to put it here like this, but I much rather have it at the top there. And that's it. So now let's delete that. Where are we? I want to go to the public folder and delete this one, and let's check it out once we run this page again, refresh. Okay, so now if we look here, we have this folder generated PDFs, and there is our PDF in there in all its glory. Quite cool. So that's how we do it. Now the only thing we have to put is HTML in here. So any HTML we put here is going to be rendered by default, and the font is not so bad either. But if you want to add specific fonts to what you want to do, because if you're referencing fonts in your now the thing is, I don't think we can use Bootstrap in here, so that's one thing to keep in mind. It's better, I prefer to put the styles directly here. You can put a styles.css tag in here, or style tag in here, and put all your styles there. That's okay. Or you can put them inline. But I'm not sure if Bootstrap will work. But let's just see if we can try that. Okay. So let's give it a shot. Oh, the thing is, our Bootstrap only loads when we load a view. So let's go to views. Let's see here for a second. If we're in the home, we include a header. Let's see here. Include a header. Includes header.view. This might not work at all. So I would much rather you put your CSS in here and not rely on Bootstrap, because we don't want even to use views in the controller section here at all. So that presents a little bit of a problem, but keep in mind that if you want to add your own fonts, it's a little bit complex, but it can be done. What you need to do is on the GitHub place here, click on manual here, and then it will take you to this page where there's information, and you can click on fonts and languages. Click on the first thing here and scroll down here, and you see this part that gives us insight on how to add new fonts. Now you don't have to always do this, because if we go to, before you do that, let me show you why you may not need to do that. So if you go to the MPDF in the models and click MPDF as well again, and go to TT fonts, true type fonts. So there's all these fonts here that are already loaded that you can use. So you can choose any of these fonts to use in your design. Now, if you want a very specific font, let's say you want Roboto or something like that, or a Google font, a true type font should be ttf.ttf. Just paste it here, and then that's when you will need to add it, because just by adding it to this list, it won't work. So what you could do is let's come down here. Let me give you an example of what we can do here. So if, for example, let me remove this output. I just want to see it in the folder. For now, let's do this. We want to test our fonts. So let me remove this so that it goes to the browser. And then here, I just want to add a style. Okay. And the style will say font family. And this one is Roboto, like this. Okay. So if I come back here and try to run this, it hasn't changed to Roboto or anything like that. Okay. That font was definitely not found. So instead, what I want to do is, let me change the font. Let me go to fonts and this same part here. What I want to do is create a new configuration here. I don't want to change the fonts directory. I just want this one that changes the font data. So copy all of this, except this part that talks about the font directory. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah. Don't mind that. Copy that. And let's put it here before the instantiation, I think. No, maybe after the instantiation. Before we write though, let's paste this. If there's an error, it's going to tell us, I guess. Oh, wait a second. You see this code is right here. So we have to put the configuration inside this section. So which means let's move this above that part like this. Okay, so we have to put the config in here. So I just want to copy everything in here and put it there, but I don't need to change the fonts directory here. This is only useful if you want to change the directory that has the fonts, but I don't want to do that. So I just get the font data like this. Default font is this one. We'll leave that alone for now, and let's just copy this. If you want to change the default font, you can change it, but I don't want to do that. So then I will put this in here. Actually, let me just copy everything in the brackets like this and delete what I don't need. So paste like so. Actually, why am I suffering like this? This is crazy. I should have just deleted this like that and leave this one, because it's the same text. All I need to do is remove this with its comma, the first entry, and leave that. I don't need this either. I can remove that out. And then here now is where I need to name my font. So if you have more than just one font, you can put a comma here and put the next one, another font. But we just want to use one font here, and we're going to call it Roboto. So let's go Roboto. Yes. And then there's the regular font and the normal font. So you give the path to those. They should be in that same folder. So what I want to do is go back. So this is the folder right here in TTF, but let me copy my fonts and let me open a new window, and I think I have a fonts folder. Let me look for a robot. Yeah, so Roboto is here. When you download from the Google Fonts site, you get a what do you get? You get like a folder like this one, and you extract, then it will give you this. So I just want to copy all of these guys, as long as it's Roboto here, and take them to this folder and paste. So you need yes, whatever. And now I have Roboto here. Where is it? Let's refresh. Wait a second, I can't see this here. Paste again. There we go. So Roboto is here. This is nice. Now, even though it's here, if I try to run things right now, it's not going to work because I haven't included it here. Okay, the name is Roboto here, but I'm using different files. So what I need to do is copy the names of these files, the regular and the this is normal, and what's this? Wait a second, this is regular and italic, right? Yeah, so regular and italic. So the regular one is this one, this is the file name, so copy the file name and paste it here. And then the italic is this one. Copy, and let's paste it here. Okay, cool. So this is all we need to do. Now you can add more by putting a comma here and duplicating this like this, and yes, like that. So you can add another font here, but we don't need to do that, so save. And now if let's try and see if we can get a different font than this. So refresh. We don't, it seems. So what's going on? Font data. Roboto regular. Yeah, it seems everything should work here. What's happening? Okay, let's try Tahoma. Let's try and change that. Let's see if we get a different one. Okay, so that works. But why doesn't this other one work? So let's do Roboto again. This isn't Roboto. So when you have a problem like this, it's always good to go back to the instructions and read properly. So let's see here. Let's see. What's going on? This is how you put your, so after you do this, yes, this is how you put it, which we've done exactly the same. So, what is going on? Okay, so these things are quite funny, but, there we go. So, define the font details in font data, configuration variable. Font name must be lowercase. Look at that. So let's put a small letter R there. I don't know why they put such things in there, but whatever. So let's try again. Moment of truth. Finally, look at that. So I have Roboto there working. So this is how you can have a new font to add in there. So you add it here to the config file when you are loading, and then make sure that you add it to the folder where the other TrueType fonts are, and just like that you can use any font that you want. Okay, so hopefully that was useful, and now that we know how to create a generic PDF, let's see how to actually create the one that we want to create. I'll see you in the next video.